Hello, it's me, Kingo Gringo 2024. Right, why didn't Spain join World War One? Because they got their ass kicked by the Americans just a decade and a half prior, and Spain's a bit unstable. And also, what's Spain got to do in World War One? Why have they got beef? Why has anyone got beef? I recommend no, not Sapiens. The Silk Road by Peter Frank, and really good book. Really good book if you're interested in, these kind of history sort of channels and stuff. It was I really enjoyed it. And it made an interesting postulation that World War One was so meaningless that, it could have been more about containing Russia. But yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling so much. This is about why didn't Spain join World War One? Let's keep watching this. Because they couldn't. It's like basically. But let's watch. This is always going to be a good one. I might make this a square for this video. Right, let's put it up here. Fucking Steve Jobs. Right, whatever. Cool.
World War I, both sides tried to recruit other nations to join them and tip the balance in their favour. The Ottomans, the Italians, and the Romanians being some of those enticed into joining the conflict. Yet Spain, a country of 20 million people at the time, managed to stay neutral throughout the entire thing. And given that both sides were trying to bribe up new allies, why did Spain sit it out? Why did Spain stay neutral in the First World War? Before getting specific, it's important to note that as of 1914, Spain wasn't having a good time. Its economy was sluggish, it had barely industrialised, it was deeply divided internally, and militarily, things were worse. Just before the war, the Spanish had suffered military humiliation in Morocco when they tried to expand their influence there in 1909. They did manage to defeat the rebelling Moroccans eventually, but that wasn't until after numerous defeats and the sending of tens of thousands of troops to Morocco to defeat 1/20th of their number. And so, when Franz Ferdinand visited Sarajevo to try his hand at being assassinated, it wasn't long until World War I was well on its way. He visited Sarajevo.
Bruh. Wait, I need to watch this again. Because this is fucking jokes. What is going on? Oh, the guy. I want to know what this guy looks like. I wonder if he looks like Hank Green, but English. Anyway, right, let's watch this little skit.
Sarajevo to try his hand at being assassinated, it wasn't long until
What's he called? St. Peter. He's just so done with it. Like, oh, nah. That was tasteless, and I fucking love it.
It wasn't long until World War I was well on its way. Spain immediately declared its neutrality and wanted nothing to do with the war, and the overriding reason was simple. It felt that it had nothing to gain. The previous Spanish-American War had taught Spain that warfare was painful even if the fighting stayed away from the homeland. And for many, the potential gains weren't even that great. If they joined the Central Powers, then
it kind of looked like he was holding like a red turd or like dildo or something. What was it? That must have been Gibraltar. It kind of looks like Gibraltar. Yeah, so that's the Kaiser. Yeah, come on, like, would you join World War One for Gibraltar? Because I don't know if any of you have ever been to Gibraltar, but oh my god, the monkeys there—they're just so. I feel like naughty sounds like a silly word. They're just so mischievous. Like, oh, they were getting in people's cars and stuff. I was only little, but like, even just monkeys nowadays, they've got like driving safari parks, and I wouldn't risk it. My windscreen wipers are worth more than that, even though they're only about £8. But anyway, let's continue. Yeah, this is good. Oh, I like how this guy's been around for ages. History Matters, but his videos are still fresh and fun. Good. That was really descriptive. Oh, let's continue.
The potential gains weren't even that great. If they joined the Central Powers, then Spain could have potentially gained Gibraltar or something. But that would involve Spain having to go toe-to-toe with the well-equipped and well-trained Entente troops. And given the previous disaster in Morocco, Spain wasn't ready for that. And if Spain had joined the Entente, then it may have been able to gain some possessions in Africa or potentially in the Pacific, but the benefits would have been little and there was the potential for retaliation. Furthermore, Spain had no quarrel with Germany or Austria-Hungary, nor did it have any feelings of kinship towards Serbia or Belgium, which gave them no reason to join. And even if the government had wanted to pick a side and ignored the risks, there was the second reason they didn't join: political instability. Spain's people were extremely divided between the assassination.
This is everyone else an idiot. Everybody except you. Yes. Right, sorry, although, let me just read this out. People who disagree with you are morons. The survey found by this very paper is found. We asked people who have different political opinions to our readers whether or not they're evil idiots, and 100% yes. This is literally like Daily Mail. Although we were different party. You, because I like to be cruel and ruin everything, replied Ramon while drowning and getting in a lake. I exercise my democratic rights out of sheer spite. I know some girls like that, though, said Luis from Barcelona. There's literally no nuance to me. It's the last sentence. It says, there's literally no nuance to me. I'm just vile. Right, the Bruce Lee. Sorry, I'm just reading the newspaper. It's really funny. I don't really stop it to read this type of thing. I didn't realise he filled it in so much, but this is funny the way it said the Bruce Love offensive. He called it after himself because it's going to be dope and nothing will go wrong. He promised to be in Vienna unless he can't because it's too difficult. Yeah, good. This is quality content.
Of the Archduke and the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, Spain had 9 governments headed by 4 different prime ministers. Each had preference. Signing of the Treaty of Versailles, Spain's people were extremely divided. Between the assassination of the Archduke and the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, Spain had 9 governments headed by 4 different prime ministers. Each had preferences towards the Entente or the Central Powers, but all of them preferred neutrality for the third reason Spain stayed out of the war: cash. Being neutral meant that you could sell stuff to both sides, and Spain did very well for itself doing just that. It sold food and raw materials to the Entente and chemicals and textiles to the Central Powers. The influx of money saw Spain's industrialization speed up and Spain's gold reserves increase massively. And the fourth reason was that nobody else wanted Spain to join. The Central Powers wanted a neutral Spain which could be used for espionage and some trade. And the Entente wanted Spain to stay out of the war since they didn't want to share any of the potential spoils in Africa with them. And thus, neutrality was a simple risk-free option, but there were some issues. Germany sank Spanish shipping, which led to Prime Minister Álvaro de Figueroa getting fired when he tried to denounce Germany for it. And Spain was also threatened with invasion by the Entente when German troops fled into Spanish Guinea, and they didn't do much about it. Of course, Spain managed to maneuver through these issues and stay neutral throughout the war, and you would assume that the massive influx of money into Spain would make the lives of Spaniards better. But you would be wrong. Workers saw no wage rises, which led to more and more of them turning to anarchism or socialism to help.
And, that way he's foreshadowing the Spanish Civil War is quite beautiful. I think he did a video on the Spanish Civil War, did he? If not, he should. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
And when it became clear to farmers that it was much more profitable to sell food to Italy or France than it was to the Spanish, there were food shortages too. And so it won't surprise you that even though Spain avoided the horrors of World War I, it entered the post-war world an even more divided nation. But that was a problem for another time. I hope you enjoyed this episode and thank you for watching, with a special thanks to my patrons, James.
Yeah. The Spanish Civil War, so that'll be just 20 years after World War II. Yep, World War I. Just under 20 years. Tragic. Feature history, that's it. Feature history does a really good. I really like feature history. He's uploaded. Anyway, good video. As always, give this a like, and I'm already subscribed. Yeah. As always, James Bizanet and all of them. Thank you. History Matters, another good video. Good to have you guys here. As always, pleasure. Mwah. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye.